Bonjour! Bonjour!
No.
Time for bladder check. Check.
So it's a show?
It's a lifestyle.
It's a religion.
My emotions! My emotions!
I'm still French.
Ouais, c'est pas faux.
I'm a woman, Mary. I can be as contrary as I choose.
Non, moi je crois qu'il faut que vous arrêtiez d'essayer de dire des trucs.
Hello, hi, I'm Laura. I'm gonna watch My Hero Academia Season 2, Episode 5. Today, normally, I'm gonna watch 3 or 4 episodes. That's gonna be cool. That's it. We're into the game. We're into that contest. We're into the second game, you know, of that contest. That sport contest. No, sport festival, they said. I can't remember exactly, you know, the name of the thing, but second game, and everyone is against our guy, Izuku, Deku, because he won the first game and he won it, you know, it was so great. He proved for me really that he can think, he can really take risk, anticipate stuff, he can act also even, you know, during a moment of stress. He can think about something else, you know, he can switch his mind, change, he's calm, like... It was so good, it was so great, I felt so proud, and at the same time at the end I was a little mad at him because, you know, it was not like he was humble, you know, like, oh no, I'm not that great. No, it was worse than that. He was saying stuff like, no, I don't deserve that, it was just luck and stuff like that. Like, at some point, the kid has to understand how great he is, and I know that for him it's really rough because of the fact that during all of his childhood, he was not considered and people were thinking really so little of him and were bullying him. So, you know, after years with people telling you that you're nothing, for sure it impacted his mind, and for sure now he thinks like that of himself, and even with some of his success, you know, he can't appreciate them enough because he has that voice inside of him, which is in fact the voices of everyone who told him that he was not enough. So I totally understand what is happening right there with Deku, and it's making me sad, but it's making me also a little mad because I want him, you know, to be proud of himself, and I hope that at some point it's gonna be the case. And you know, it's a little the same, you know, but the opposite of it for Bakugo, for Katsuki. Like, you know, the last videos that I posted on my YouTube, I had some comments telling me, oh, you hate Bakugo, it's annoying and all, and I was really like, where did you see that I hate him? For sure, you're not listening to my intros and reviews, in which I'm saying each time that I believe into the kid, I think that he can evolve, he can change at some point, I really can see where he can go, and that can be great also for his relationship with Deku. Like, I want that, and I think that it's gonna happen. But yes, for now he's annoying, but he's made, you know, to be annoying right there during the first season, at the beginning of this second season. He's made for that, like, when he interviewed like that, you know, in front of everyone saying, I'm gonna win, like, that, it was made for that, you know, for him to be represented as the one who is annoying. But at the same time, it's the same. Like for Deku, I want him at some point to be proud of himself. For Bakugo, I want him at some point to be less proud of himself, you know. And it's really that, to take his pride, to put it right there, and to... I don't know, for me, the more I think about it, the more I think that... I don't know what can be really his thing, like... You know, for Deku, I want him to be more proud of himself. Him, I don't really know what I want him to do, to be. Less proud, maybe, but it's more like the more I think about it, the more I think that what is gonna happen, it's something like he's gonna accept to be rescued, you know, to be saved. We saw how we reacted when they were kids and when Deku did that thing to save him when in fact he didn't need to be saved. But see, I have the impression that at some point someone is gonna rescue him, is gonna save him, and he's gonna be forced to admit that he needed that help. something like that, you know, like it would be also for his narrative arc, his development, it would be a good thing, you know, to have that situation again when there were kids, and after that, you know, with the one of the first monsters villains that we had during the season 1, we had that thing, you know, of being rescued. He didn't accept it, he was against Deku after that, being rescued not really fully by Deku, like he had so much hate. So really I think that at some point we're gonna have a situation with him being rescued and just accepting it and maybe thanking the person for that. And for me, at the moment that something like that is gonna happen, it's gonna mean a lot for Bakugo, for his evolution. It's gonna mean a lot. That's what I think. Right there, during this game, we have Deku with Ochaco. She was so sweet, you know, really to present herself just like that, like, yes, I want to be a part of your team. That was so sweet. I really appreciate the girl for that. She's a little jealous of Mei, you know, the girl who is such a genius, who created all of her babies. She can be called that one and she can bring a lot of fun. And they are also with Fumikage, right? The crow. And him, his ability, you know, his power, I want to understand it more, because at first I thought that that dark shadow, it was a part of him, you know, that he could control. And in fact, he talked, you know, to eat, he ordered stuff to eat him, I don't know how to name it. So I want to understand more how it's functioning, and I think that we're gonna see it right there, because they're gonna continue that fight. I think that right there a lot of them lost, you know, their things on their heads, because another team was more clever than everyone else, and that was really a good technique, you know, a good strategy. Still, they're gonna want to go after Deku and his team. That's gonna be something, you know, like to have this fight 4 against 4. I said it, my strategy with a game like that, it would have been to wait for the last minute, you know, to attack the right team to win. You understand? Like, let the other teams still fight, do their stuff, and wait for the last minute to attack the good one and to take all of the points, or at least enough points to win, you know, to go to the third game. At this point, you know, I think that it's like for the first game, it doesn't count to be the first one, you know, to be the best. You just have to succeed enough to go to the next step, to the next game, and maybe it's even better, in fact, to not be the best the first one. Because of that, the other ones, they're not gonna fear you, they're not gonna pay attention to you. Like, really, me, into a game like that, I would have played it like that. Okay, I'm gonna stop this intro, let's go for this episode 5. Remember that if you want to have my Patreon on which you can have these episodes earlier, we have 4 episodes of advance for My Hero Academia on my Patreon, which is a lot. We've extended our 4 action part, and I put a lot of 4 action parts, and it's full opacity, and I'm not forced to cut that much no matter what, like I'm forced to do on YouTube. So if you want to support me and to have these advantages, it's on my Patreon, and really it could be useful. Let's be honest with that. I have some issues personally into my life, so it could be useful if you want, if you can join me on my Patreon. It could be useful. Let's go for this episode. I totally understand that. Each time I remember the wrong names. Fumikage, Ochaco and Mei. I made a drawing of you, Todoroki, and you don't have the same color of eyes. I saw that, you know. Ah! Still going for them? Oh, you're well organized. Maybe they're gonna block each other, you know? It's too many of them. You block them all, okay? Not again! You are your shadow. Momo! It can be the case? Ah. Can you lose your shadow? How is it functioning? Ah. You can talk? It's really something independent. Okay. Let's hear that moment again. That was such a good one. I'm totally calm. Oh, you took his quirk against him. Maybe he can copy quirks? He seemed surprised, you know. That's a good quirk, in fact. Bakugo. Talking like that about your own son, you? Iida? Iida! Ah, Iida! And you're a really good one. I'm proud of you, Iida! But I want for Deku to really win. She supports you! No matter what! They all have a reason to fight. You're attacking someone, so maybe you're not gonna be that hurt. Against your fire? Against Todoroki's fire? You're all by yourself? You need to be with your team, Bakugo. music! Okay, you're third. You're third, Bakugo, that's right. To be nice! That's a really good one. I'm not sure that children have the time for that. But clearly you're a good leader. He knows, you know, how to use all of them, to lead them, to motivate them. You're a good leader. Oh. Yes! Did you take the good one? The 10 million one? I knew it! How many seconds left now? I knew you're coming right now. Ah! Your boss going for Todoroki right now? They won because of you! Uh-huh. What?
お前の狙撃から轟は明らかな動揺を見せた。1000万を取るのが本意だったろうが、そううまくはいかないな。
You took us there once?
警戒が薄くなっていた頭の方をいただいておいた。
So well done! Fumikage is a dark shadow, both of you. Ah! Like you're gonna obey to him when before you didn't? I want to see more of your relationship. Ooh, the light and shadow thing on your face. Like, you know, is burnt and other. Ooh! One identity. Your poor mother. Oh, I love your mother so much. That thing at the end, you know, to have Todoroki and Deku like that against each other, facing each other, and to have All Might calling for handover, I have questions, for sure. Did we have something, you know, which happened between Handover and All Might? You know, are they friends? Are they enemies? I'm wondering about it. You know, because right now they are presenting us the stuff like it's the same for All Might to be against Handover, it's the same then Deku being against Todoroki. Maybe because of the power situation, you know, All Might, Deku, they have the same power, and Handover, Todoroki, they have the same power because Todoroki, he has his power, you know, which for me means that his mother was an ice lady. I don't know. But I'm wondering about the situation right there between All Might and Andover. You want to talk about what? Did you know, All Might, that Deku was talking with Todoroki? Like, was it on purpose, that moment, and you wanted to block him for not joining his son? This relationship between Todoroki and Andover, like before this episode, we had only Todoroki talking about him, and really how he was talking about his dad, it was really like he doesn't respect him, he doesn't consider him, but at the same time he wants to make him proud, he wants to impress him. And right there what he said at the end, it was something like, I'm gonna be forced to do what he's gonna tell me to do. You know, before that, with what he said, what he did, I had the impression that Todoroki wanted to prove stuff to his father. I understood that he entered into the school by recommendation, surely the recommendation of his father, because his father is such a great hero. And maybe he wanted to prove to the school, to everyone, to his father, to himself, that he was good enough, you know, on his own. Right there, you know, the fact that he failed, I mean, it's not fair, he was the first, you know, during that contest, I mean, at least during that game. But for him, the fact that his power, you know, what happened during that moment, was a proof of his failure, the fact that he failed during the first game. So it's almost like, that's it, now I'm gonna be forced to obey to my dad because he's right. I can't be the best on my own, I need his advice, I need his help. Do you understand what I mean? It's bad. It's really bad to think like that. I don't want that for Todoroki. And what his father said also, how he was looking at him, it was almost the same, you know, like he's not considering him, he doesn't respect him, but at the same time he wants his son to be the best. That thing at the end, you know, Deku and Todoroki talking, for sure I want to hear that discussion, we're gonna hear it and that's gonna be an interesting one. I'm not so sure that it's gonna be Todoroki being again, you know, like, I'm gonna win against you, like something like that. I don't think so. Maybe he's gonna want to talk about what happened during that particular moment, to talk about Deku's power, because we saw that he heard the other ones when they were talking about the fact that All Might and Deku, they are really close. Tsuchi talked about Deku's power, also like All Might's power, so maybe we can have something about it. Or maybe not at all, and it's gonna be something else, you know, like, I'm not so sure that it's gonna be really a confrontation during that moment, during that discussion. We'll see. But yes, that moment was great, because just, you know, that thing about putting a light, you know, and a shadow on his face, when we can understand that he has a good side and a dark side. I'm not saying that he can be someone good or someone bad. It's not functioning like that into life. But everyone has good side and a bad side, you know, the darkest side at least. And with Todoroki, we understood with time that he's a complicated character, so to have that thing, and the fact that that thing, you know, took place right there on his face, you know, his face which is already marked with the burnt part and all. And that was cool, that was so cool to think about it, you know, that was cool. Okay, I'm talking since the beginning of this review of just really the last minute of this episode. The rest of this episode was about that game, finishing that game. It was a good one, you know, it was a good fight. I was impressed by Iida, but not surprised. For sure, the guy is not gonna give up. He's gonna go for it. He's okay to sacrifice himself in a way, you know, to sacrifice his power to make something good. Because he wants to be considered, you know, as a good contestant, and he is. And he proved it again. So that was fucking great. Todoroki was great also during this episode, you know, how he used his power. But I was more impressed by Bakugo not because of his power, but because of how he was leading his team. You know, so far we saw him so many times being arrogant, being so pretentious, and being all by himself, you know, really fighting all by himself. Even during the attack of the first season, we had him, you know, really talking about himself during this attack, putting himself into the front line and all. When right there, he considered everyone's powers. He understood, you know, how to use their powers right. He was leading them, you know, giving them orders at the good time. At the same time, he was saying stuff to motivate them. Okay, he was saying stuff which were not that great, but you know, in his own way, he was motivating them. So really, Bakugo impressed me. I didn't think of him, you know, as someone who can lead. I thought of Iida, of Deku, maybe, no, not Todoroki in fact. I was gonna say maybe Todoroki, but not Todoroki. Yes, I thought more of these two being good to lead people. You know, if we have to think about a future team of heroes and stuff like that. But Bakugo can be also a good leader. It impressed me. All of the strategies, you know, all of the teams, they were great. Oh! Monoma, something like that. The copy guy, that's a good quirk in my opinion. And for me, in fact, it's one of the best because it means that in front of an enemy, you can always be equal to that enemy. In fact, to fight with his or her own quirk, so it's making really the fight more equal. For me, it's a really good quirk to copy like that the quirk of your enemy. And for sure, they thought of stuff really well, but they didn't take in consideration the fact that in Class A, really, they are like that. They are never giving up and they are just going for it. That was cool. That was a good episode. That was a good fight. And we had several moments which were great really for the characters. Like I said, for Bakugo to see that he can lead a team. For Todoroki to understand that he can fail and to have that thought, you know, about his father. Maybe now he's gonna obey to his father and to see his father at the end. And now he's gonna talk to Deku. For Deku to not win, but still to be good enough, and thanks to his friends, mostly because of his friends. Like right there, he can say that he won because of his friends, when during the first game he won only by himself. Yes, it was an episode okay to finish the fight, but in fact more about the characters, to give them stuff, like also for Iida and all. Each one of them at a moment. It's cool. Okay, I'm gonna stop this review right now and I'm gonna watch at least 2 more episodes. For you, it's gonna be in another video, and for me in some minutes, so it's all for you for today and it's all for me for now, so bye for now. Bye.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine?
Crazy.